You're listening to the Life Edit Project podcast, where recovering perfectionists get all the juicy tips to feel better, do better, and have better relationships. I'm your favorite life coach and podcast host, Coach Elizabeth Burrows, and today we're talking about how you as a parent and a recovering perfectionist can make space for the adventure of adolescence instead of just dreading the teenage years and waiting for them to be over. Yeah, we're going there. Ready? Let's go. Good day, good people. Welcome back to episode 116 of the show. This week's topic is basically a rant inspired by real life, and I think it's going to set somebody free, so we're just going to roll with it because I'm kind of annoyed. And let me tell you why. It's back to school season. Here in South Florida, where I live in Palm Beach County, all the kids went back to school this week. At least the ones that go to public school. And so kids are on everyone's minds right now. It's all anyone can talk about. How cute the kids are, how fast they're growing up, how expensive they are, how much they eat, all of that, right? And lately, as I've been connecting or reconnecting with people, the conversation will turn to kids and the start of the school year. So people will ask me how old my daughter is. She's 11. And they'll ask me what grade she's starting. She's going into 6th grade, so it's the beginning of middle school. And 95% of the time, the reaction that I get from people is some variation of, oh, it's the beginning of the end, and it's all down from here, and you better enjoy her while she still likes you, hee hee hee. And quite frankly, I just have to admit, it's annoying. I am so over these kinds of comments. Like, I'm tired of it. And I mean, I get it. Most people are half joking when they say these things. But half joking is also half serious. And I just find it so interesting how many people are just delighted to warn me that the worst part of parenthood is on the horizon. And it's also just annoying because I don't claim that. I don't think it's true. I have an amazingly sweet and funny and kind and creative and intelligent kid, and I am so proud of her. As a matter of fact, if you've been listening to the show for a long time, you've heard her on the podcast before. She's been a guest on the show. She's helped host episodes for me before. She's amazing. I love her. She's a good human, and she's one of my favorite people, but she's definitely my favorite kid ever, right? And so we have this wonderful relationship that is built on love and respect and honor, and we do spend lots of time together, and we're very close. Although, let me be clear, I'm her mom, not one of her little friends, and so we are not confused about that. But yeah, we are close. And because of who I am, because of who my husband is, because of who we are, because of the values that we're instilling in her and the way that we are raising her intentionally, I can imagine very clearly a future where she grows up to be an equally amazing and funny and kind and intelligent young woman. But everyone around me is just so eager to say that she's going to start hating me any day now. And I just find it absolutely absurd. I mean, yes, adolescence can be a tough time of life. Kids are figuring out who they are, which usually means that they're rebelling against their parents and against rules and authority figures. And they're making more of their own decisions, which means that they're making more mistakes and suffering from more of the consequences of those decisions. And yes, I know that in some families, this period looks like a lot of fussing and fighting or melodrama and major meltdowns, right? But it doesn't have to look like that. And I'm determined for it to not look like that in my house, because why would I want that? Why would I predict that? And so I'm just annoyed at how many people have decided that my daughter is going to hate me in a few years when she becomes a teenager. I disagree. I'm not claiming that, and I'm doing everything in my power to actually avoid that type of situation. But I will also remind you that I am still a recovering perfectionist. And so navigating parenthood is definitely one of those areas where I feel constant pressure to, quote unquote, get it right. So as a life coach, here's what I'm doing to make sure that I can look forward to the teenage years instead of dreading them. It's 3 simple things, and if you can practice doing these things, I think you'll see a big difference in your family as well if you're not already doing these. Here we go. Number 1, I see my daughter as her own person instead of as an extension of myself. And I have been doing this since she was a baby, and I realized that I cannot actually control her. I am not expecting my daughter to think the way that I do, or to be interested in the things that I am, or to want the same things that I want for her. She gets to be her own person. And because she's a kid, that means she gets to explore and figure out who she is and what she wants. I'm here to protect and guide and support her, not to dictate her life to her. So if I haven't already decided who she needs to be, then there's less rules for her to follow and ultimately less reasons for her to rebel. Now, as a recovering perfectionist, this can be really hard sometimes, especially if you have the puppeteer perfectionist personality that I've talked about. This part can be really, really tricky, and I'm not going to lie about that. There are definitely times when I think I know better, and it would just be so easy to just declare that she has to do things my way because I'm her mom and I said so, right? It would be so easy for me to just insist on taking control so that I can make sure that things just turn out perfectly. But I've also found that it's just generally not necessary to do that. Most things in life just aren't that serious. And when you insist on controlling and dictating as a parent, you sacrifice connection and you actually erode the trust between you and your kid, especially as they get older. So, by making space for her to be her own person and to let who she is and who she's becoming not mean anything about who I am, I'm actually building the foundation for us to have a strong and healthy relationship, not just now, but throughout adolescence and her being a teenager. And we are going to come out of that phase with our relationship fully intact. Number 2, the second thing that I'm doing to support our relationship, even as she ages, is that I let her see me struggle. Now, a lot of perfectionist parents approach parenthood as another thing to win at. And so sometimes you get caught up wanting to have the best kid, the one with the best manners and the best grades, the one that's best dressed and attending the best school and doing the best hobbies and in the best clubs. And a lot of the time, you also can get caught up showing your kid that you're the best, that you've got the best job and the best career and the best relationship, and you have the best friends, and you make the best decisions, and you take the best vacations, and you throw the best birthday parties, and you post the best pictures, right? And you make living the best life look easy because you're convinced that that is what's best for your kid. But it's not. Instead, all that does is it teaches your kid to develop an intolerance for imperfection. And kids who don't learn to tolerate imperfection become adults who also think and feel the same way. I want to show my daughter something different. I let her see me when I'm frustrated or nervous. I admit to her when I've messed up. I explain what I did wrong and how it happened and what I'm going to do to try to do better going forward. I let her witness me being on the struggle bus but still winning. I let her watch when I give myself grace because that's what I've decided to model for her. And so she knows that struggle and success can coexist, and it's not the end of the world. Also, if I'm not holding my own self to the standard of perfection, then she trusts me when I say that I'm not going to hold her to the standard of perfection either. And then she becomes less afraid of disappointing me or of messing up herself, which again creates space for lots more compassion and authenticity in our relationship, which is exactly what we need to move into the next phase. And then finally, number 3, I love on her no matter what. This is so important. And without this, the other 2 things just might as well not even matter. I am constantly reminding my daughter that there is nothing she can do that will make me stop loving her. I show her how even when I'm angry or disappointed, or even when I'm tired, or even when she wants to hang out in her room instead of riding in the car with me to run errands or sitting on the couch with me to watch a movie, none of that means that I love her any less. And I believe that that kind of reassurance is going to make all the difference as she gets older. And even if there are moments where she pulls away, she will come back because she knows that I will be here for her. So the bottom line here, folks, is that there's not one right way to get through the teenage years. It also means that however your family chooses to navigate this season of life, it doesn't have to be wrong either. There's no one right way to do this. There's also no such thing as a perfect parent. And I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm here to coach you, not to say what you want to hear. So there's no such thing as a perfect parent, just like there's no such thing as a perfect kid. But we don't need any of us to be perfect. In fact, insisting on perfection just gets in the way of connection and intimacy. In all of our relationships, yes, but especially in the relationships between parents and children. Hear me when I say this, lean in. Perfectionism is never on your side. And that is true even in parenthood. So it's a good thing that I'm not a perfectionist anymore. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I'm on the other side, and I have tools to deal with this. And so listen, if you want to let go of your perfectionist mindset so that you can look forward to the teenage years instead of dreading them, I can help. Visit the link that's in the show notes to book a call with me, and let's talk about how my one-on-one coaching can help you and your teen or tween have a loving and healthy relationship that doesn't need to be perfect. All right, that's it for today, folks. Do me a favor, hit me up on social and let me know if you like this episode. I want to hear, what was your favorite part? Is there anyone you're going to share this with? Matter of fact, post this episode to your stories and tag me. I want it all. My handle on social media is at Life Edit Project, all one word, in all the places. So holla at your girl. I'll be back in your ears next week. Peace.